and be glad in it. God is good all the time, and all the time, God is good. Ladies and gentlemen, the senior pastor of Friendship West Missionary Baptist Church, Dallas, Texas, Dr. Frederick Douglass Haynes. Pastor Haynes, good morning.
Good morning, my man, Rickey Smiley. How you doing, bro?
Woo, about to get out and vote today. Today is the day, man.
This is the day, Ricky. So here it is. If we're going to make things happen, we've got to let go, let God have God's way. But in the process, recognize that God has no hands but our hands, no feet but our feet. And so on the one hand, I let go and let God have his way, knowing that God is going to handle the consequences. God is going to preside over the outcome. So I'm not going to worry about the outcome. I'm going to work for the kind of outcome that I want God to bring about in this nation, in my life, yes, even in this world. So yes, I'm not worried, I'm working. Yes, I'm not anxious, I am active, because I know that God is going to have the last word. So here's what you do. Get yourself up. Make sure that you vote. Have a plan to vote, but not just yourself, because it's not just about you. Make sure everyone in your circle is voting. If they're not voting and they're in your circle, why are they in your circle? They need to know that this election is the most important election in the history of this nation, and all of us have a responsibility to do our part. So here's what you do. Pray, and then after you pray, get up off of your knees and head to the polls and perform and make sure that your voice is heard. You owe it to the past, because too many people paid the price for you to vote, but you also owe it to the future. If we're going to have a future, it's because your voice and your vote count. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to let go, let God have his way, and make sure I do my part to make good things happen. Go ahead and have a great day, but make sure you have it at the polls.
I know that's right, Pastor Haynes. Let everybody know how you can be reached.
Hey, thank you, Rickey Smiley. You can follow me on social media. I'm on Twitter and Instagram at FH Unscripted. I'm on Facebook, Frederick D. Haynes, and my YouTube channel is Frederick Haynes.
There it is. Let's get into some music. All right. Thank you so much, Pastor Haynes. Love you, man.
Love you, Ricky. Let's vote, man. Let's vote.
Let's go. All right, y'all, Rick around the morning show. Hey, this segment is being brought to you by Pepto-Bismol, fast and soothing relief for nausea, heartburn, indigestion, upset stomach, and diarrhea. Pepto-Bismol, fast relief when you need it most. All right, Maria, good morning.
Good morning, Ricky. Good morning, everyone. Here's your Tuesday morning headlines. All right, y'all. After months of campaigning, Election Day is here. Leadership for 435 House seats and 35 Senate seats will be determined by voters across the country. We'll have conversations with special guests throughout the show today to talk about the political landscape. And if you are unaware of where to vote, the national website vote.org has an online tool to help you find your polling location. Down south, Ricky, Florida's East Coast was placed under a hurricane watch. The National Hurricane Center warned that subtropical storm Nicole could make landfall as a Category 1 hurricane late Wednesday or early Thursday. In other news, an experimental drug could offer hope to millions of people struggling with uncontrolled high blood pressure. According to the study published by the New England Journal of Medicine, patients who took a daily dose of baxdrostat were able to reduce their blood pressure substantially. Lastly, if you were hoping to wake up a billionaire this morning, you're going to have to wait to find out. The record-breaking $1.9 billion Powerball drawing was delayed Monday night due to security protocols. We'll have a roundtable discussion about that later this hour. I'm Maria Moore, and that's a quick look at what's happening in news. Gary has the tea. Good morning.
Good morning. All right, y'all. Rick Ross, honey, is currently entangled, y'all, in a great debate with his homies. They're saying, y'all, that he has way too much stuff filling closets at his beautiful 235-acre promised land estate. And, they're saying that it's just ridiculous. Now, Rick, y'all, showcased mounds of clothes, shoes, and other boss trinkets, y'all, recently inside his sprawling estate. In fact, y'all, they're saying that the display was debated on several IG stories. Now, Rick Ross argued, y'all, against being a hoarder. He said that, to make the noise of his partners, honey, saying such a thing like that, who demonstrated just what the cushion floor has become, plunging back into it without fear of cracking there, saying his skull or what have you. Now, Ross, his home is beautifully placed in Fayetteville, Georgia, and they're saying it's one of the largest estates in the world, and the home has the largest swimming pool in the country. Now, he said size matters. He said in this case, Rick says, honey, he can't be a hoarder with so much wide open space around him. And they got pictures of that mess in that house, Ricky. I mean, do you feel just because you have
I got too much stuff?
Rick, it's just ridiculous. And he got all these clothes and shoes and everything up in his, it look like it's in his living room.
Is this a mess?
It's a mess.
Who took the pictures?
I guess some of his friends took it and put it out there. But he said, you know,
no friend.
Nah, but recently they said, you know, he had a big car show, honey, at his mansion not too long ago. So now he's saying what he really want to do is y'all have one of the largest garage sales, honey. He said he's going to put some of his Balenciaga outfits and bargain and all that stuff.
I need to go.
You gonna go? Oh, you know he lost all that weight.
Gary
Oh, he's smaller now.
I'm going, honey. I can't fit his clothes, but honey, I'm going to go out
but he's
someday.
smaller now, isn't he? He lost a lot of weight.
Oh, yeah, he did.
Yeah, I saw him. He was actually at FAMU's homecoming, and he looked good.
Really?
Yeah, he lost a lot of weight.
Really? Well,
Yeah,
honey,
I'm sure he got some jewelry and stuff you might want to buy.
Oh,
yeah.
you know. And I know where he lived, too, honey. I didn't see that
All right
museum,
now.
honey. So, Lord Jesus. Oh, Evander Holyfield. But anyway. All right. The color today, honey, is one of my favorite colors. My color today is, leave it alone, Ricky, is Ceylon. On the high end, you say Ceylon, and on the low, you say beautiful yellow. That's your color for the day, Rickey Smiley Morning Show.
All right, y'all. Rickey Smiley Morning Show. Hey, sitting in for Brett with the hot spot. We got the one and only Maria Moore this morning. What up, Maria?
Good morning, and this is being brought to you by the Tom Joyner Foundation. Fantastic Voyage. It is back on the Royal Caribbean Cruise Line, and remaining cabins are limited. Hurry and check out details at fantasticvoyage2023.com. Good morning, Ricky. Good morning, everyone. I'm Maria Moore, sitting in for the Brat, and this is the Hot Spot, where we bring you music, movies, and more. So the funeral services for late Migos rapper Takeoff will be held on Friday, November 11th at the State Farm Arena in Atlanta. According to TMZ, Reverend Jesse Kearney III of New Mercies Christian Church will officiate the service, which begins at 1 p.m. Meanwhile, the rapper's family held a balloon send-off over the weekend in his honor. Drake has postponed his Friday, November 11th concert at the Apollo Theater so that he can attend. Now, in terms of the investigation, law enforcement sources recently said that they're vigorously investigating the argument that led to the 28-year-old rapper's death, but they haven't pinpointed any suspect yet. You know, when I think about the Migos, y'all, I always thought that they would go down as an iconic rap group. Like when you think about, you know, Tribe Called Quest, and you think about Outkast and NWA, like they were that new iconic.
I think they still gonna get that label, but it's different now because they wasn't able to really, you know, max it out with another classic album.
It's so sad, and I'm glad that they're having it at State Farm Arena because I know a lot of people are mourning his death. Also making headlines, and during an interview with Vogue, Rihanna opened up about her life as a new mom, saying that she is exhausted. She explained this is a tired that you have no control over. Your body is shutting down. So Ricky and Special K, as old as our kids are, y'all remember them newborn baby days?
I don't.
Oh, yeah.
You don't remember?
It's hard to remember them. I mean, with them being as old, I look at pictures a lot, and it's like, it's hard to remember them days, man, because
I remember
20 years.
Oh, Ricky.
Like it was yesterday.
Yes. Man, you are tired, next level tired. No sleep, you feel like a train hit you. But she talked about the favorite thing about her baby. She said his smile, he's the happiest baby. I would be too if Rihanna was my mama. She said no matter what you're doing or what you're feeling, he getting that good breast milk, that Caribbean breast milk. And he smiles at you, everything just goes away. She says it's the best, and you may remember Riri gave birth back in May. Last thing I have for y'all, Angela Bassett appeared on the Kelly Clarkson show this week and shared that the cast of Black Panther Wakanda Forever visited Chadwick Boseman's gravesite together before they started filming. I think that's really touching. You know, you kind of feel his spirit. They said that the producers rented a plane and they all flew to South Carolina and visited his resting place together. So I'm sure a lot of spiritual implications, and we'll feel the energy when the movie is released this weekend. That's what I have for you inside the hot spot. Coming up, we have a roundtable discussion about last night's lottery fail. All right. In the meantime, hit us up for those wake up calls at 866-9-RICKY. That's 866-9-RICKY. The time now is 27 minutes before the top of the hour. It's the Rickey Smiley Morning Show.
13 before the top of the hour. Maria, good morning.
Good morning, Ricky. So, as you may know by now, the record-breaking $1.9 billion Powerball drawing was delayed Monday night due to security protocols. Now, Ricky, the Multi-State Lottery Association confirmed the reason for the delay, saying that a participating lottery needed additional time to process sales. So a lot of folks were still buying tickets, I guess. The Powerball website said as of 3:45 a.m. on Tuesday, it is likely we will not know the official results of the Powerball drawing until later on this morning. I just checked Powerball.com. Still no information yet. But Ricky, I want to talk to you and get your thoughts on this. I looked up a list of 5 things that are more likely to happen to you than winning the lottery. Some are positive, some not so much. First off, winning an Olympic gold medal. Yes, you may not have trained most of your life, but you could go to the Olympics and win a gold medal before you actually win this lottery money. Being killed by hornets, wasps, or bees. You are more likely to get killed by hornets, wasps, or bees.
That's funny because I was out there spraying wasp nests yesterday up on a ladder, like real talk.
Oh, my gosh. You were about to be a statistic, Ricky.
Yeah.
Winning the Super Bowl. You have never put on a helmet, but you have a better chance of winning a goddamn Super Bowl. You are not even an athlete. How about this? Being crushed by a meteorite.
Yeah.
You're more likely to be crushed by something falling out of the sky than winning this money. And the last one, imagine that.
I know, boy, that's interesting.
And you just standing there minding your business, listening to some Whitney, and a big rock come out the sky.
If that happened to you, God really...
He don't like you. You did something wrong.
Yeah, you did something.
You have upset the Lord, okay? Yeah. And he gonna throw a rock from heaven to let you know. Becoming a U.S. president. You are likely to become a U.S. president, more likely than winning the lottery. 292.2 to 1 are your odds of winning. But you know, it's crazy because people are hopeful. People are already spending that money in their heads.
I got the, What you say,
are we gonna go in and buy tickets? I bought one ticket.
It's too late now. They're gonna have the results this morning.
Yeah, they're
still working it out.
I bought a ticket. I don't even know where it's at.
No, nobody won yet, but since it was the delay, now they're gonna come back later today and pull the ticket. And
you gotta refresh your website, Powerball.com. But it just says results pending. But that just kind of makes it feel suspect to me. I'm like, well, what y'all doing behind us? Ain't we supposed to see the drawing live?
How many numbers is it?
5.
5 numbers and 1 Powerball.
Okay, 5 numbers and 1 Powerball.
6 total. 5 plus 1 is 8.
But you know, though, Ricky, that's spooky to me, though, y'all. I'm wondering what they doing. I mean, how did this get delayed?
I mean, I think it was just a crush of just people buying tickets?
I think that's what they said it was.
Kind of jam the process up?
And they're trying to make it fair. Everyone who bought tickets, your ticket counts, yada, yada, yada. Or maybe somebody.
So it's just one person somewhere that pulled a number out of a thing, and that's the winning number.
Yeah. So you have all of these lottery associations that are participating, and you have to give them time to submit. The people that purchased the ticket all over the country. So you can imagine everybody got a ticket. I didn't buy a ticket. Did all y'all buy tickets?
Yeah. No, I didn't buy one. We need to worry about these damn Powerball mail-in balance at the end of the night.
Okay.
For Val Demings, we got a chance, and Raphael Warnock and different ones that's running the damn mail-ins.
Okay.
That's what we hope we have a whole lot of.
Yeah. That's a real lottery. That's a life lottery right there.
Absolutely. Because if you play Powerball and you did not vote, that's a real damn problem. So, all right, thank you for that, Maria. All right, the time right now is 9 before the top of the hour. More Rickey Smiley Morning Show coming up.
Hold it. He's half man, half woman.
It's Gary. I wanna hip you to the teeth. It's Gary, baby.
All right, 6 minutes after the hour, y'all. Gary has the tea and the color of the day. What up, Gary?
Good morning, Ricky. Good morning, America. Good morning to you. It's Tuesday, a beautiful day in the neighborhood, and here's what's happening in celebrity news. Ricky, the world is excited, and I am too, y'all. It's being reported that Lori Harvey and Future may be back together again. According to sources, honey, they're saying Lori has been spending quite a bit of time, y'all, with the prolific procreator in Miami. Now, they're saying that Lori's friends explained that Lori and Future aren't in a relationship, but they say they wouldn't call it that. They say, but they are friends. Now, Lori has been spotted by the paparazzi all around Miami this past weekend, y'all, and they say that's where Future currently lives. Now, according to a recent report, y'all, Future just purchased a $16.3 million property on Allison Island. They're saying that's on the exclusive island in the city's North Beach section. And they're saying it's a beautiful, great waterfront home because every home out there is waterfront. And they're saying that the neighbors are already, honey, happy about this situation and what have you. And they're saying Lori and Future, you know, they dated.
Oh, I know whose house that is.
You know whose house? Oh.
You been over there?
Yeah.
You been in there?
Yeah, but
I ain't saying on Gary.
Huh?
Who is it?
Yeah.
I don't know. Let me ask.
Yeah, but we'll chat later. Yeah, but
Gary
anyway.
been over there.
Yeah, but it's a beautiful estate. And congratulations. And you know what though, Ricky, a lot of people be saying, why she would go back to him? But people are saying, if she does go back to him, to please use protection. They say, because if you look at Future, you get pregnant. So, honey, that's what they're saying.
Yeah.
But my thing is, I mean, love is, you know, when you love somebody, you love them. Have you ever gone back to anybody that you once loved? You left them for a couple of years and went back? Really?
Definitely. And then you get with them and realize why y'all. Then you get with them and realize why y'all broke up.
Yeah. That's it right there, Ricky.
Yeah, well, they, honey,
yeah, you be thinking you missing them, and then the minute you get back with them, like, okay, that's why I left.
Yep, that's why I left in the first place.
Peed in my bed.
It's like buying a car back that you traded in.
My Lord. Well, honey, congratulations to them. If they get back to if they back together, honey, love, they need to be together, honey. That's what love. Because, I mean, Michael B. Jordan, honey, to me, to Laura, he was like a cantaloupe. He seemed boring. And Future is more like a hot fudge sundae.
Good girls like bad boys.
I like that. A cantaloupe versus a hot fudge sundae.
Yeah.
That hot fudge sundae gonna give you cellulite and belly fat, though. That's not good for your health. The cantaloupe is.
Yeah, well.
How about that?
Oh, I guess, honey, I'm at to know my fruit.
But the fudge tastes better. How about that?
There you have it, honey. All right, moving on in other celebrity news, y'all, honey. Oh, my God, y'all. Famed plastic surgeon Dr. Miami is firing back, y'all, at Drake, honey, after he did this saying about Meg Thee Stallion, honey. They're saying, honey, that Dr. Miami is kind of hitting around, allegedly, y'all, that Drake may have had liposuction, honey. But he's talking about Meg Thee Stallion. They're trying to put her all out there on this doggone, on that EP or whatever they call it, honey. He talked about it. They said when Drake asked to do his second round of lipo, honey, he said, but I'm gonna hide it before, honey. I'm a surgeon. That's what allegedly Dr. Miami said. So, I thought this was supposed to be confidential when you have these type of surgeries or what have you and stuff. And he talking about that man.
I don't think the doctor can speak on that.
Yeah, so he made an implication on it, though, honey. You know, he kind of
violated his HIPAA
law. Yeah, you can't speak on that.
Well, he kind of implied in so many ways. So I guess he didn't say that he had it, but he implied, you know, about if he was to come back, whatever. But nevertheless, honey.
Lipo is popular for men, too.
Oh, my friend, Dr. Nip Tuck, honey, he said more men are having liposurgery now. Yes, it's a good thing. Ricky, would y'all have liposurgery?
Get that back fat out.
Absolutely.
Back fat.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I mean, yeah.
Suck,
ain't no shame in it. I mean,
little suck in the stomach or whatever, or just whatever.
Yeah.
I've been taking those golly gummies. I ate of those golly, what do you call them?
Them apple cider, apple cider gummies.
8 a day.
They good too.
2 and 4 in the morning.
What they do? They make you lose weight?
They kind of burn fat and
they have that natural fat burner in it. Yeah.
And they real
appetite
good.
suppressant. Yeah.
Really? Well, nobody told me now. Well, I'm going to go get some then. Did you buy me at the store?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. Well, all right. Well, congratulations, honey.
Walgreens.
Oh, okay. Groovy. Congratulations to Drake, honey. You know, I mean, because, like I said, you know, these guys, honey, they walk around, I'm this big bad. But I do know guys that have, you know, be it pecs and get those calves in their legs and stuff. But I know they did liposuction, too. So, well, congratulations to the man that's doing it.
Well, I wouldn't do no
money
to add muscle. You get those on your own, but to suck out fat, that's definitely. But I ain't trying to be around here looking like a
implants is something different.
Drumstick legs, big old thighs scrubbing together.
Come on, Gary.
Go on and suck that out, brother.
All right, the color today, honey, is one of my favorite. My color today, y'all, is Cylon. On the high end, you say Cylon, and on the low, you say beautiful yellow. That's your color for today.
All right, y'all, give it up for Gary with the T. Hey, look here, you got to get on to vote. Hey, if you have voted, you need to hit us up and let us know that you are out at the polls voting. Today is election day. Midterm elections going down. Hit us up for the wake-up call if you on your way to the polls or from the polls. 866-9-RICKEY. Hit us up. All right, Rickey Smiley Morning Show. Time for your wake-up call. Get at me, 866-9-RICKEY. Let's go.
Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. It's time to get yourself together. Cause they woke you up this morning, slid you in your house, you so it would be better. Wake up, wake up, wake up. Encourage each other and be productive. The Rickey Smiley Morning Show, wanna know where you calling from, so come on and tell us and just wake up.
Wake up, wake up, wake up. This is Mia Mills from Indianapolis, Indiana, and I am waking up all my family to go out and vote.
Good morning. Hey, this is Kamei from Louisville, Kentucky, and I early voted, and I'm out working the polls right now. Get out and vote. Wake up, wake up, wake up.
Wake up, everyone. Happy birthday to all the Scorpios today in Texas. Go out and vote and get Hot Wheels out of the office. Wake up, wake up, wake up.
This is Sherry from Loudon, Oklahoma. I'm out here ready to vote, and I'm privileged. Wake up, wake up, wake up.
Good morning, Ricky. This is Frida. I'm calling from Orangeville, North Carolina, and I just left the polls. Wake up, wake up, wake up.
My name is Chanda. Just calling to let you guys know that I just voted. Ain't been up this long in a long time, but I voted. I'm bragging about it too. Wake up, wake up, wake up.
Hey. Wake up, wake up, wake up. When you at Dallas, wake up. In Chicago, wake up. ATL, wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up.
All right, man. Hey, the wake-up call is being voted by Gain. That's right. If your laundry is longing for a scent that is seriously irresistible, you got to try Gain Flings detergent, Gary. Gain Flings detergent. Go pick some of that stuff up where your clothes can smell fresh like everybody else in the morning. Why don't you use anything? Why?
Well, I'm getting with Gain now, honey. I like Gain.
Listen, we're going to go get some Gain's Fling detergent. Trust me. Just trust me on this one.
I will.
When people walk up to you and tell you that your clothes smell good, like your clothes don't stink, but if you got some Gain Fling, that'll be really,
It helps your walk by air, right?
Yeah, your walk by air would be on fire.
Oh, okay. Gain Fling, honey. I'm getting it.
All right, there it is. We got the one and only. We got Roland Martin coming up next. Rickey Smiley Morning Show. Time right now is 29 before the top of the hour, y'all. Ladies and gentlemen, y'all please help me welcome my good friend, award-winning journalist, digital media mogul, managing editor of the host of Roland Martin Unfiltered, member of Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated, the one and only Roland Martin. Hey, Roland, what up, boy?
What's going on, Doc? How you doing?
Man, hey, Roland, I know you got so much to talk about. I ain't gonna even start with you today, man. Democracy. Let's start with democracy at stake.
I think every person listening, especially every black person, they need to understand what is on the other side of hell. And if you understand, and I broke this down in my book, White Fear, how the brownie of America is making white folks lose their mind. And that's what's going on right now. These folks are pissed off with 2020. They are ticked off that Obama had 8 years. And what they want to put into place will unleash against us. And it's a lot of black folks. I've been dealing with these fools on Twitter. I've been dealing with them on other platforms talking about, we need this and we need that. First of all, I've had folks coming at me talking about what we haven't gotten. Democrats haven't done this. Well, first of all, if you black, this is the lowest you've ever had a number of black people who are uninsured. As a result of the Affordable Care Act. That didn't happen because of Republicans. HBCUs did not get $6 billion in the last 2 years because of Republicans. When you talk about the student loan debt, talk about forgiving up to $10,000, $20,000 with grants, black folks would be disproportionately impacted. Who's against that? Republicans. If the Democrats lose control of the House, all that's gone. That's gone. Congressman Bobby Scott of the Education and Labor Committee, that he is not the one who is sitting there in charge of that. You don't have
Congresswoman Maxine Waters, who is chairing the Financial Services Committee dealing with redlining in these banks and holding them accountable. We're talking about David Scott out of Georgia is the first black to be the chair of the Agriculture Committee. Now you're talking about what's not going to be happening with black farmers. And so I need people who sit here and complain all day saying we haven't gotten this, we haven't gotten that, to understand there have been a number of things that black folks have gotten. But what do you think is going to happen when they're in charge, when they won't even return our phone calls, or they won't even say black? And so they want to steal elections. They are running people not only as governor, as secretary of state, but also the boards of elections. They are already trying to invalidate black voters, challenging black voters in Pennsylvania, in Georgia, and all across the country. And so folk who say, well, this stuff don't matter, or then, oh, we survived slavery. No, your ass didn't survive slavery. The folk before you did. Some of these folks can't even survive not having their phone to be on social media for an hour. And so what we need to understand is that this is a critical election. And if you want something, you got to vote, and you then, after the election, got to hold them accountable to give you what you voted for.
Right. You got something? Go ahead.
Roland, I've been watching you talking about this since your book came out, and man, you are so on point, and so many people need to hear. I wish some of your rants were mandatory listening for high school students, because I think voting rights and the rollback of civil rights is one thing that a lot of us don't understand with the change of Democratic leadership to Republican leadership. Do you speak on the voting rights and the civil rights that we're looking to lose?
And they are specifically targeting young people. You have voting clerks, who are moving early voting locations off of college campuses, saying, hey, there's too many young people voting. Them students down at Prairie View A&M been fighting with Wallen County for decades. And this is real simple. If the vote does not matter, why in the hell would they be trying so hard to keep us from actually doing it? And so then you look at Gary Chambers just dropped a video a couple of days ago about early voting in Louisiana. And I need my black folks in Louisiana to say, man, look, what are y'all doing? There are 900,000 registered black people in Louisiana, yet only 10% voted during early voting. Just 10%. Senator John Kennedy won last time with 536,000 votes. If just 55% of black people in Louisiana alone, if just 55% of black people vote, and let's say 20% of white folks voted for Gary, guess what? Kennedy loses. I need us to understand we literally have power. I was just in Texas on Thursday and Friday with the Communication Workers for America. 8.8% of the early vote in Texas was black. If black people comprise 12 to 15% of all turnout, guess what? We win across the board. Statewide, Beto is governor. Got lieutenant governor. You got the sister who's running for attorney general. We win. We can go state by state. North Carolina, if black folks turn out and vote our numbers, Sherry Beasley, a sister, is the next U.S. senator from North Carolina. If black people in Milwaukee vote the way we should, Mandela Barnes become U.S. senator. If black people in Pennsylvania vote the way we should. Now, I know somebody's saying, man, here, and I get those silly Negroes, oh, you out here sitting here talking about, oh, we should be supporting Democrats. Well, let's see here. Which party voted to cap insulin for Big Mama at $35?
Right.
Democrats.
That's right.
Who voted against capping insulin? Republicans. When the black folks were gunned down in Buffalo, who voted for the bill to sanction white supremacists in America? Democrats did. The bill was sponsored by Jamal Bowman, congressman from New York. Who voted against that bill? Republicans. See, I ain't never identified as a Democrat or Republican. What I have done is look at who votes for stuff that we want as black people and who votes against stuff. And there is nothing this MAGA Republican Party has done that would make me even consider voting for any of them. Anybody black who's sitting there on the fence and you dancing around. Oh, and by the way, black men and others in Georgia, They talking about what Brian Kemp was done for black businesses. Let me be real clear. Black businesses in Georgia have received less than 1% of all state contracts.
Hey, Roland.
Repeat that. Yeah.
Hey, Roland, you got a busy schedule this morning. I can put you on the next segment. I can move some stuff around, man.
That's fine. I'm good. I'm up.
Okay, so we usually do, our therapy session, but I think it's really important, to have you come on and we'll get some stuff moved around. Hey, y'all, we got the mix coming up. More, Roland Martin coming up. Rickey Smiley Morning Show. All right, Rickey Smiley Morning Show. Who is this?
Okay, I'm letting you know right now what's going on. I don't know if them folk call you or not, but, I talked to Bob from Human Research yesterday. And he said that my case is under on appeals. They appealing. Yeah, my case with the company for trying to fire me. So I'm not fired yet, shout. I'm still technical not fired. But
okay, so why aren't you here today then?
Cause my key still don't work. Shout. I'm still banned from the building. But they said that
what time did you come up here?
I'm going to vote right now. I ain't got time to come over though. I'm gonna go vote, and then I gotta go get.
Who you voting for? Who you voting for?
I'm voting for Stacey Adams.
No, Stacey Abrams.
Who made them? She made them church shoes. I'm voting for her, and I'm voting for Ralph Warner.
Yeah, Warnock, Pastor Ralph.
Yeah,
Raphael.
I'm voting for him and whoever else is
Val Demings.
She in Florida, but I told my cousin to vote for her. But look, before I go to the poll, I gotta go pick up my nephew. He just called me. I gotta go take him to go pick up his son from school. My little nephew.
Okay,
his son took his diaper off at school and won't put it back on.
Right. That's not good.
You know, my nephew, he 10.
Right. Oh, no, he definitely can't do it at 10.
Oh. Yeah. No, his son, not him. He don't wear no diaper. He 10 years old. His son we gotta go pick him up.
And his daddy already at the school?
No, my nephew, his son. But you won't be paying attention, shouting. My nephew gotta pick up his son.
I have no idea.
Maria, okay, my nephew 10, his little boy 2. He gotta go get him from school.
Oh, okay. He became a father at 8 years old. Is that what you're saying?
Pretty much. So you got to get a ride. So you got to get somebody to take him to pick up his son.
Yeah, I got to take him to pick up my great nephew.
So you got to go pick up your nephew who's 10.
Yeah.
To go and pick up his son from daycare who's 2.
Yeah, he 2, but he took his diaper off and he won't put it back on. He bad.
Now who he got? Now how old is his baby mama? Is he 10?
She 18.
Hell no.
I see y'all after the election.
All right, man. All right, Black John. Take the day off, dog. All right.
Hold it. He's half man, half woman.
It's Gary. I wanna hip you to the tea. It's Gary, baby.
All right, party people. It is 5 minutes after the hour. Gary has the tea and the color of the day. What up, Gary?
Good morning, Ricky. Good morning, America. Good morning to you. It's Tuesday, a beautiful day in the neighborhood. And here's what's happening in celebrity news, y'all. Kim Zolciak, former Real Housewives of Atlanta star Kim Zolciak, y'all, is finally speaking out regarding the foreclosure of her $2.6 million mansion. Now, Ms. Zolciak has denied reports, y'all, that her $2.6 million home sold for $257,000 after going into foreclosure. She said, okay, you guys, honey. She said, honey, my house was not sold for no damn $257,000. She said, you guys think that I will let my home that we put millions and millions of dollars into go for $257,000? She said, you're an idiot. And she said all this here on Instagram. And y'all, she also wanted to say, y'all, that she responded to the recent news, y'all, that her Georgia mansion, you know, that she had to get out of it. She had to be known. She said, first of all, she said, I will not be leaving my mansion. She said, I will spend my birthday in my house, which is in May, and I'm going to stay in there for Christmas time. She said she ain't going nowhere until she's ready to leave, y'all. So she said, enjoy the view, haters, because you're going to be seeing it for quite some time now, unquote. Rick, I thought if your house got foreclosed on, you got to get out of it immediately and stuff. But she said she ain't going nowhere.
She found a way to make the mortgage payments, right, Kay? Is that how it go, Maria? Are you in real estate? You in real estate, Maria?
Maria knows more about it, yeah.
Oh, do I? Okay. Well, I pay my bills, so hopefully I will never know what foreclosure feels like.
No, but I'm saying, but you know, we buy property.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I totally understand. And sometimes, the bank actually prefers to work it out with the original lender because it costs them more money to put the house up and take a loss. So I'm sure she probably worked something out. Yeah, maybe she got some other collateral or figured it out. A lot of celebrities do that.
I know they give you up to the end of they give you the longest time to come up with the money.
Forever. Yeah, they
come
give
up
you
with
forever.
the money. So
and that's for all races? They do it for all races?
They'll let you stay in there, then they'll rent out upstairs. Something
is that what they do?
Wait a minute now.
No, people do that for real.
They do?
I know someone who bought a home, lived in the garage, and rented out the house.
In order to keep it.
And so they basically had people living in the house to pay the mortgage, and they lived in the garage for a year.
Yeah, it's my understanding it's kind of hard to actually lose a house to the point where they throw your stuff out on the front yard.
Yeah,
I think it's hard to get to that point.
It takes a long time, like you said.
Yeah.
Really? Well, Kim say she ain't going nowhere, y'all, so she said, baby, honey, take notes to that. All right, moving on in other celebrity news, y'all. Rockman Dunbar. We all know actor Rockman Dunbar, y'all, honey. He is speaking out, y'all. Now, he's on that show, honey, 911, and they're saying, y'all, that Rockman Dunbar filed a lawsuit against Disney and 20th Century Fox after his character was written out of the hit TV show 911 because he refused, y'all, to be vaccinated for COVID-19. Well, according to the court, they have ruled against him. Now, they're saying, y'all, that a federal judge that ruled that Dunbar's dismissal from the drama series for refusing to get the COVID-19 vaccine can't claim desperate impact because no other members of his Universal Wilson Church have been affected by the reason for his job loss. Now, they said he had claimed, honey, a religious exemption, saying the firm discriminated against church members. Well, Disney and 20th Century Fox still face 10 other claims that include racial and religious discrimination, breach of contract, and retaliation. Quote, he still cannot identify any other Universal Wisdom followers who have been adversely affected by defendant's vaccination policy, read the order from the U.S. District Judge, Ms. Dolly G. Now they're saying Dunbar, who played Michael, honey, the ex-husband of Angela Bassett's character on the drama series from its inception, was abruptly, was written off, honey, in November. They said, you got to go. They said, you got to go, honey.
Isn't it a SAG rule that if you're working on a SAG-affiliated project, don't you have to have... Isn't that one of their rules? You have to have a vaccination?
Yeah, you got to be vaccinated, honey. And he didn't want to get vaccinated for whatever reason, so honey, they told him, well, you got to go now.
And a company is allowed to make rules about how they do their business and how you would affect other coworkers. So, I mean, you decide. You follow the rules or you find another job.
You ain't got to work.
Unfortunately, it's like that. So.
And I know a lot of states too are at-will states too with jobs. They say, honey, we didn't ask you to come and you came. Yeah. So you don't want to be here, go. And you can just leave. They don't like the color of your blouse, honey. You got to go because at will. All right, we're going to keep it lifted in prayer too, y'all, while we talk about it. Okay. And in my final story, y'all, Wendy Williams, financial advisor, honey, is receiving death threats. This girl said she had to have cops around her house 24 hours a day. She said, honey, I have 24-hour armed police officers outside of my house, kind of vetting everybody that comes to my front door. She said, it's starting to affect my life. She said, I'm a prisoner in my own home, honey. She said that, working with Wendy Williams on this here thing. She said, I'm kind of living in my own personal hell. Now, Ms. Schiller told Page 6 that despite Wendy's claim that she was never fired and is still lead advisor under account, honey, amid the talk show host lawsuit against the bank. Now, she said that she's been having an all-positive conversation, honey, with Miss Wendy Williams, with whom she has very close and been very close with for 12 years, honey. She said despite the public lashing from Wendy Williams, honey, she said Wells Fargo, honey, February claims that she needs a guardian, y'all. They said Schiller said that she has been lauded, honey, internally by the bank for the work she's done to protect Williams from those who mean her financial harm, but the bank, y'all, won't publicly support her. I thought she would be able to get the money by now. I thought they said she was well.
Yeah, I thought they released her and Britney Spears to their bank account.
Yeah, they sure. Well, it looked like Ricky had looked like Miss Spears, honey, is doing what she needs to do. But it's a man. I didn't know people could just do your money like that. I thought that's your money. I thought I'd be able to go to the bank and withdraw.
I didn't know that they had laws that they think you something going on with you mentally to protect you from yourself. Sometimes you have to be protected from yourself. If you're not mentally, then you go and give all your money away. You don't have nothing. I don't know the laws on that, but I think that's what happened. They thought something was wrong with her, and that's why they was trying to save her. I don't think they're trying to take the money. They can't legally take the money.
Yeah. Well, Miss Sheila said she says it's not fair that she's a target of death threat behind the people behind Wendy and her money. So we're going to follow this story and hopefully everything turns out all right. Miss Williams and everybody is safe. All right. The color today is one of my favorite. My color today, y'all, is Ceylon. On the high end, you say Ceylon. That's C-E-Y-L-O-N. On the low end, just say beautiful yellow. That's a beautiful color today, Ricky. I love yellow. Yellow. Yes,
that's
yellow and red.
You pee for that color?
Oh, yeah. Okay.
You pee for that?
Pee, baby.
Yellow. The color is yellow.
Yellow.
Y'all give it up for Gary with the T. All right, so we're going to be talking to Bakari Sellers up next. All right, Rickey Smiley Morning Show. The segment is being brought by Indeed. You don't need a job platform. You need a hiring partner. Indeed lets you schedule and conduct virtual interviews all from one place. So start at Indeed.com/credit. All right, y'all. Today is the day. Listen, if you have not voted early, make sure that you get to the polls this morning. And on the line here to break down some of the biggest races around the country is our good friend, CNN political analyst, attorney, and New York Times best-selling author, Bakari Sellers. Hey, Bakari, good morning, man.
Man, good morning. I've been up since 5 o'clock, man. I feel like this is the Super Bowl.
Right, I can't sleep, man. I actually been up since 3, so that's crazy. And just watching, going from channel to channel. So from what you've seen, what are some of your predictions?
Oh, predictions. I kind of got out the prediction business after 2016 because I would have guessed this would have been the second term of Hillary Clinton. But I do think that Democrats are going to have a better day than people expect. The races to watch are Arizona, Nevada, Pennsylvania, Georgia, Wisconsin, North Carolina, Ohio. Those are the races to watch. I feel like Nevada, the early vote has been insane, and it's snowing out there in Nevada. So I think Democrats are going to pull through. I think they'll maintain in Arizona. I hope Fetty, as I call him, John Fetterman, I hope he's able to pull through in Pennsylvania. That's going to be a close race, but I think he will. And then I just can't believe anybody's going to send Herschel Walker to the United States Senate. I think Democrats pull it out 51-49, but if you watch the polls, people think I'm crazy. So we'll have to see. Everybody has to vote. Every vote is going to count, and this is going to be a close election. So if you're in Pennsylvania, Georgia, North Carolina, Arizona, Ohio, Nevada, I mean, it's going to be that close. So make sure that you take somebody with you to the polls.
So real quick, I know, Kay, you want to jump in, but I got to answer this before I need to ask you this before I forget. Do you think that the Democrats has a strong possibility of keeping the House?
No. That's an easy answer. Next question. The House.
Wow.
Wait a minute, Bakari, you feel that negatively toward the Democrats having even a shot? Is it because of gerrymandering or is it because of turnout?
There are a lot of things that happen. I mean, in the last 100 years, I think there's only been 1 or 2 midterm races where the opposite party didn't gain at least 5 seats. Republicans need 5 seats to take back the House. They're going to get 20. They won't get a lot. In 2010, when Barack Obama was president, they got 63 seats, which was a shellacking, as Barack Obama called it. They'll get 20 to 25 seats, and that's just because of gerrymandering. That's because of the animus and the president's low favorability, because it's a midterm, and that always happens in midterms where the president is of a different party. And so, no, okay. Democrats won't keep the House.
Okay, so if your prediction holds true, and we maintain the Senate by a seat, but lose the House by whatever that number is, then what does that, how do the next 2 years look with Republican in control of the House?
Well, I mean, with the Senate, you can still do things like appoint judges. You can still make sure that there is some policy that's passed. And you have to remember the infrastructure bill, all of the stimulus packages, the COVID Relief Act, the Infrastructure Relief Act, which is known as the IRA, were all passed bipartisan. And so what you'll have to do is craft legislation that can pass a Republican House and pass a Democratic Senate. That's not impossible. That's something that can be done. But the Senate, I will say this, is the most important, followed by the governor's mansions in Wisconsin, Pennsylvania, and Michigan. Hopefully Democrats keep all 3 of those.
Yeah.
Wait, I'm sorry.
Bakari, you're really optimistic about the Democrats maintaining control of the Senate. Now, Republicans need 1 Democratic seat to gain control of the Senate. Of all of the races, which seat do you think is most at risk? If you had to pick one.
Nevada and Georgia are the most at risk. And that's just a tough one. Nevada is going to always be close, but shout out to Clark County, which is where Vegas is, and Washoe County. And, you know, Georgia is Georgia. I mean, we just flipped it blue for the first time. So both of those races are going to be close to watch. And all you all know that if Herschel or Raphael do not get above 50, then y'all are going to keep getting those ads on your TVs for the next, 2 months until December when that race will be decided.
Oh my God.
I know everybody wants to go back to the Viagra ads and the dating app ads on TV. I mean,
it's just depressing to me, the thought that Herschel Walker is even within striking distance. That says so much about where we are as a society. Oh my God.
It should be more depressing than Herschel Walker could probably be your daddy too. But here we are nonetheless.
Yeah.
I mean, this is just where we fit. But shout out, I do want to give y'all some good news though, because the first race that will likely be called is going to be Wes Moore in Maryland. And he will be one of the few, I believe it'll be the third elected black governor we've had in the history of the United States. So shout out to Wes Moore in the great state of Maryland, who's going to pull that off tonight.
Oh, wow. Wow. I'm excited about it. So, Bakari, where are you going to be, broadcasting from? Are you on CNN tonight or where you, how can we follow you?
I'm on CNN today from 12 to 4 p.m. I'm on tomorrow from 12 to 4 p.m. I'm on Thursday from 12 to 4 p.m. A lot of races, particularly Pennsylvania, will not be decided tonight. So it's going to be a long week. So I'll be on TV all week. I'm going to be on Twitter just talking what I talk and trying to figure out what's going on with Powerball because they owe me some money. And I'm sitting here with my tickets out waiting on my Powerball drawing.
There it is. Hey, Bakari, let everybody, thank you so much, bro. You know, we always appreciate you. Let everybody know how you can be reached.
Bakari_Sellers on Twitter and Bakari Sellers on IG. Thank y'all. Make sure y'all go out and vote and take a friend with you.
I know that's right, man. Y'all give it up and show your love right now for Bakari Sellers, y'all. Come on. All right, we got Jeff Johnson coming up next. Rickey Smiley Morning Show. All right, y'all, Rickey Smiley Morning Show. Hey, it is about that time. Jeff Johnson got 3 things you need to know. Jeff, it is election day. Good morning.
Man, that's the only thing. There's one thing to know. It's election day.
Right.
And folks got to get out. You know, every time around election season, we have folks that talk about how voting doesn't change everything and getting mad at folks that tell people that voting is the only thing. And most of us, Rick, like, you've been one of the greatest advocates for getting people out to vote that I've ever known. And you've never said voting is the only thing. You just said it's a weapon we can't afford not to use.
Right.
So I'm the last person to tell people that I think voting is a silver bullet that's going to solve all your problems. What I do know is that if you don't use it, it's almost like deciding that there's going to be a fight. And there's a bunch of weapons on the table. And you got this gun on the table called voting. And you leave it on the table for somebody to be able to pick it up and shoot you with it. And that's literally what we do by not voting. We literally leave a gun on the table that somebody can use to shoot us with. And so it doesn't mean that you're going to win the fight, but every dollar spent, every policy passed, I know I vote because I got a daughter who I want to be able to control her own body. I know I vote because I got babies and I want their schools to be funded properly. I know I vote because I'm an entrepreneur and I got a business and I want my taxes to look the right way. I know all the reasons that I vote. It doesn't mean that I don't hold elected officials accountable, that I don't believe that we got to use the private sector to build our own stuff, that I don't believe that we got to prepare our own leaders that focus solely on our community and not everybody else's. It doesn't mean that I don't think we got to put families together to make sure that we got a strong base. It just means I want to use every weapon at my disposal. And if you're in states like Georgia and North Carolina and Ohio and Pennsylvania and Florida, like these are states that ultimately are going to determine what the House and the Senate look like, what policy looks like, what President Biden is able to do or not do. And so we need you to turn out, not because this is the perfect option, but because it is a weapon that we have to use. And so, Rick, one of the things that I think is important is to remind people that if somebody tells you you cannot vote today, make sure that you ask for a provisional ballot, make sure that you cast your ballot, And then make sure that you report it. If you feel intimidated, there normally are poll watchers. These are not poll workers, but these are poll watchers who are normally lawyers. And if you call 866-OUR-VOTE, they will also provide you with lawyers and collect your information if you feel like you have been blocked from the polls improperly. That's 866-OUR-VOTE. So those are two things. Ask for a provisional ballot if somebody tells you that you're not in the right place or they don't see your name. And also call 866-OUR-VOTE to make sure that you report if you see any irregularities, whether it's you or somebody else. And the last thing, Rick, is listen, in some of these states, I mean, people that are in Georgia that are voting in this governor and Senate race do not plan to know what the results are tonight. Right. It is unlikely that you are going to know this evening in some of these really close states what the results are tonight. Like, I'm positive that I'm going to know we elected the third black governor in the history of America in Maryland tonight. Wes Moore will be the governor of Maryland before the end of the night. I know this, right? We don't know that about Stacey Abrams. We don't know that about Val Demings. We don't know that about some of these other folks that are running. And so we need you to be patient. We need you to be diligent. Measure your expectations, but make sure you protect yourself by ensuring that you're able to cast a vote. And if you don't, provisional ballot. If you have anybody block you, 1-866-OUR-VOTE. I cannot say that enough, because if we aren't advocating for ourselves, then there are folks out here ready to steal and hustle that vote today.
That's right, Jeff.
So that's it, Rick. I know next week we're going to come back, and I'm sure on Tuesday there still may be some places that we don't know yet where the results are. So we got a road ahead of us. But I just trust our community, because as much as people say we don't care, we turn out like nobody turns out, especially black women. So you all get out to the polls, take somebody to the polls, protect yourself at the polls, make sure that you cast your vote at the polls, and we'll see you on the other side.
There it is. Hey, Jeff, appreciate you, man. Let everybody know how you can be reached.
Hit me at Jeff Nation on IG. Love y'all, man. Happy Election Day.
I love you.
On Thursday, brother. All
right, y'all. More Rickey Smiley Morning Show coming up.
Vote in November is not about the next 4 years. It's about the next 40 years. Let me take you back to Constitution and governance. The President of the United States has the authority to place men and women as judges all across the district courts, the appellate court, and the Supreme Court. This current president, in his 4 years, has appointed more judges than every other president except Jimmy Carter. In 4 years, President Donald Trump has appointed 198 judges to the bench, 2 to the Supreme Court, some 50 plus to appellate court, and the rest to district court. And many of those appointees will sit as justices of judgment for the rest of their lives. So when you don't vote, you don't determine who stands at trial. When you don't vote, you don't get to sit in the jury and determine the fate of those in trial. When you don't vote, you don't get to help determine the judge that sits on the bench. So don't tell me you out here hollering Black Lives Matter if you don't vote. Black lives don't matter to you if you don't vote. Don't tell me you're mad that Daniel Cameron has not indicted the police officers who killed Breonna Taylor if you don't vote, because you ain't got nothing to do with it. How dare you not vote? When we don't vote, we dismiss ourselves from being part of leveling the playing field of justice in the United States of America.
Oh, man, I'm getting real emotional right now, so I'm not going to talk. We got the one and only Warren Ballantyne on with us this morning. Warren, good morning. Man, my favorite brother of Phi Beta Sigma, founded 1914. Man, how you feeling, man? What you think?
Well, today is going to be a very interesting day, Ricky, and I'm glad you played what you just played, because this really is, Rick, I think back to when President Obama was elected. You remember we was in D.C. overlooking the whole city and we were broadcasting up there together?
Yeah.
And we were talking about how historic this is. This is the vote of our lifetime. And I never thought I would be saying this after seeing President Obama win the White House. But this really is the vote of our lifetime because this vote isn't about who's going to be the congressman or the senator or anything else. It's about what's coming down the pipe in the Supreme Court. Rick, we saw what happened with the Dobbs case. What happened with the Dobbs case, it overturned Roe v. Wade. Now, what they argued in their case was simply this. This was not in the original Constitution. And because it wasn't in the original Constitution, it should go back to the states. It should go back to states' rights. Well, affirmative action just got argued under UNC and Harvard. They made the same argument there. They're about to make the same argument dealing with LGBTQ rights. Try to get rid of what we fought for them to have the rights in their community. They're going to make the same argument about housing, education. And look, for women out there.
Affirmative action.
Young women who are affirmative action, all this. And for women out here, especially ones between 18 and 40. See, a lot of people forget, and the only reason I know this is because I went to law school, but a lot of people forget that from 1970 to 1977, a woman couldn't even own a credit card in America unless it was owned by her husband or her father. We're talking about the 70s, not the 40s, the 70s. All this will go back to state rights. So if this all goes back to states' rights, then whoever the governor is, whoever's controlling your state, they'll be the ones making the law. Now, what's crazy about this, Rick, is this. If the education goes back to states' rights, it goes back to Plessy v. Ferguson, which means separate but equal. So all this stuff is on the table, and for all the young people who've gotten loans paid for and loans forgiveness and money at the HBCUs and other institutions, you need to vote. They are the key to making sure that you have a democracy in this country, because once the Supreme Court overturn this stuff, the only way it becomes the law of the land is if the federal government puts it back into place. And if they don't have control, they can't do that.
That's right. That's right, Warren. So what predictions do you have? And Warren, can you speak on this also? I really do think that if Donald Trump runs for president and win, that he will be president for the next 10 or 15 years. We will be in an authoritative, if that's the correct word, state. Do you agree with that?
Well, I don't think we will get into an authoritative state, because I think that if he tried to do that, it would virtually break into a civil war in this nation, because Americans love their freedom. But what I will say is this. If Donald Trump runs again, which he probably will, because he wants that presidential immunity for all the other stuff he got going on with his family. But if he wins again and they have the Supreme Court and they have the House or the Senate, at that point, everything is overturned by the Supreme Court, whether it's affirmative action, whether it's, LGBTQ rights, whether it's housing, education. That stuff will never be addressed again for another 10 to 15 years. Now, Rick, the reason why that's so important, and this is why it's important for people who are 18 to 90, is because if it's not addressed for another 10 to 15 years, it may not ever change. In this country, slavery, everybody talks about slavery in this country, only 300,000 slaves were bought here. 7 million was put into Brazil. Only 8% of white people own slaves. The other 92%, they didn't overturn it right away because they were getting a de facto benefit. Well, if these laws change, a lot of people are going to get a de facto benefit. And if it's in place for 10 or 15 years, they're not going to want that to change. They're going to want to keep pushing their ways, their views, and everything else on everybody else. So this is why it's so important that we go out and vote, because this is important to somebody who's in high school right now, somebody who's in elementary school right now. If you got a grandbaby or a cousin, and for everybody who's talking about, well, my vote don't matter. If your vote didn't matter, why are they fighting so hard to stop you from voting? Your vote does matter. It matters big time.
I don't know how many times they got to hear it. I don't know how many times they have to hear it.
Yeah.
Well, the thing about it is this, though. We are a people who we really let the media in this country dictate what we think and what we feel about certain individuals. I mean, even historically speaking, when Dr. King was assassinated, I mean, the media had painted him in a picture so badly that black people wasn't even supporting him the way he should have been supported. And we do this all the time. We throw away our people. They don't throw away their people. When our people get in some trouble, instead of us rallying and trying to put them up and put them in jobs and put them in positions, we throw our people away. They say, no. We're going to insulate you. We're going to take care of you because we can use you later down the line. And see, when you have people who are really speaking out, who are really giving voices to the community, who are really fighting for us, those are the people they come after us. So when you look at all these young attorneys that's out here right now, we're going to be like the Thurgood Marshall and their team, because you're going to have a young fraternity brothers, Ben Crump and Julian Hall out of Durham, North Carolina, my fraternity brothers, Courtney Fauntleroy, Shannon Reed out of Charlotte. You're going to need brothers of Kappa Alpha Psi like Eric Mitchell out of Chicago. You're going to need these young attorneys going in here to fight for us to have an opportunity to change these laws so that we can be insulated and protected, because everything that we're talking about today, if you know history, they're talking about this in the 1950s and the 1960s. We're literally going backwards instead of going forward as a nation, even though we've had a black president.
Absolutely. I'm talking about they everything that people have fought and died for, they are undoing, in the fact that your voting rights, with the gerrymandering, just making it hard for your, Democrats to win, or making it hard for people to have a voice with the gerrymandering and the voting laws or whatever. We are fighting, fighting for everything right now that people literally died for us to have. And it is important to make sure we get out and vote. Warren, let everybody know how you can be reached.
Man, I'm on that social media stuff somewhere, somebody running, but it's under Truth Fighter One. But I'm going to tell you, Rick, I'm going to close out with this, right? Honestly, what we need to make is this argument. The civil rights argument was a great argument. It did a lot for us. But now we got to make the equity argument. I'm 6'1", Rick. If I want to see over a fence to 6'4", I only need 4 inches. Somebody 5'7" can get those same 4 inches, and we can say we equal, but they still don't have equity because they can't see over the fence. Black people, brown people, poor white people, we got to get equity, because if we have equity, then all people will be treated exactly the same way. And that's what we need more than anything else in this nation. There it is.
Ron, let everybody know how you can be reached.
Follow me on all the social media stuff under Truth Fighter One or Truth Fighter. It's on there somewhere. I know that.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, Warren Valentine, more Rickey Smiley Morning Show coming up. Smiley Morning Show, 27 minutes after the hour, y'all. The front page is being brought to you by.
Turn cold water washing with Tide Pods. When you switch from hot to cold, you can save up to $150 a year on your energy bill. Plus, Tide cleans great and cold. Good morning, Ricky. Good morning, everyone. Here's your Tuesday morning headlines. After months of campaigning, Election Day is here. We've been having all of our special guests and talking about Election Day. Leadership for 435 House seats and 35 Senate seats will be determined by voters across the country. Republicans need to flip one seat to gain control of the Senate and must gain 30 competitive seats to control the House, according to CNN. Now, if you haven't voted yet, the national website vote.org has an online tool to help you find your polling location. On the East Coast, some polls are open until 8 p.m. Down South Florida's East Coast was placed under a hurricane watch. The National Hurricane Center warned that subtropical storm Nicole could make landfall as a Category 1 hurricane late Wednesday or early Thursday. In other news, Ricky, 2 Colorado police officers involved in the arrest of a woman who was seriously injured when she was hit by a train were charged with attempted manslaughter and second-degree assault. The incident happened while the woman was in custody inside of a parked patrol car.
That's really good, because they left her in that patrol car on purpose, and knowing that train was coming.
Oh, my
gosh. And when you look at that and you see that whole video, it seemed to me like it was intentional, and I believe it till I die. I believe that.
That's horrible. No matter what she did not deserve that, to be sitting there. Can you imagine the horror? Knowing that the train was coming. So it's good that they were actually charged. And lastly, a lot of folks are following this story and waiting to see if they're going to be a billionaire today. The record-breaking $1.9 billion Powerball drawing was delayed on Monday night due to security protocols. Now, Ricky, I've been refreshing the website, Powerball.com, and as of this morning, the winning numbers have not been published on the website. So we got to wait until a little bit.
Everybody, just real quick. You know, Lord, we just turn it up, Dave. Turn it up. We come to you right now, Lord. We don't ask for much, Lord. The Powerball and went up over $1 billion, Lord. You know how much we could do with that, Lord. This is me and Special K. coming to you right now with sincere hearts. And we thankful, but don't get it twisted. We thankful for everything we got.
Yes, we are.
Lord, if you just let us win the Powerball, we will bring back Comic View on BET.
Yes, we will.
Special K, just give the Lord, as we spoke last night, you heard the conversation, give Lord a list of some of the things that we would bring back into society that society is missing if you let us win that Powerball. Special K.
We will bring back good times. John Amos is still there, and Sherry Shepherd will make a very good Florida. We will bring back good times to the air. And
Amen.
Walona and Thelma is still fine. Well, okay, wait a minute, I made a mistake.
Best Buy,
We're gonna bring back
Best Buy.
we're gonna bring back service merchandise, Lord. We're gonna bring back all these service merchandise that's been turned into churches. We're gonna bring them back, Lord. We're gonna bring back Radio Shack. We're gonna bring back Circuit City is coming back. We're gonna bring all these things
and
back.
we're gonna give 10% to different churches all over the country, Lord. We're gonna get every kid to have a haircut, everybody hair will braid it, and we will ban bonnets. We will ban pajamas from the airport. We will ban twerking in restaurants and DJs and
we're gonna buy Gary new sheets for his bedroom.
Definitely. And put him in a safe place. We got a lot of work to do, Lord, so you know what we need, because we're going to go out here and work hard, Lord. We're going to keep this job on the radio, too, Lord. These are the other things we ask in your name, Jesus' sake. Amen and amen. Amen. Ladies and gentlemen, man, we got the one and only Roland Martin joining us this morning, man. And we talked to you earlier on the show this morning. And Roland, let everybody know who wasn't listening earlier why this election is so important and what's going on and what we need to be afraid of.
We cannot run around talking about how we want tangibles and we want policies if you don't change the politician. The root word of poly in both words, that's the root word. And so how do you do that? Well, you do that through elections. Now, let me say it again. Elections are not the be-all to end-all. They are a part of the process. When the election is over, we must stay mobilized and organized to put pressure on them to do what it is that we desire. Yet when I listen to people say, well, Democrats have had the power, ain't nothing been done. Okay, but every person listening, remember that stimulus check you got that helped you pay your rent, that helped you buy food? How do you think you actually got that money? The American Rescue Plan. Tell me how that actually happened. When you talk about Build Back Better, the transportation bill, they're going to spend $600 billion over the next 5 years on roads, bridges, schools, you name it. The question is, are you sitting here petitioning to make sure that money is being spent in your neighborhood? We could go to Earned Income Child Tax Credit. Which party wanted that to move forward and which party voted for it to end? Democrats wanted to move forward. Republicans voted to end. What did that do? That had a significant impact on reducing the number of kids who were in poverty. I mean, which party wanted to cut SNAP benefits? Republicans. Who wanted to give folks more resources when it came to buying food? Democrats. See, I'm not sitting here, I'm calling balls in the strikes. I'm telling you who actually voted for something and who voted against something. And at some point, we've got to stop listening to these trolls and these people who say, oh man, that stuff don't matter. That's a fundamental lie. There is nothing in your life that is not impacted by public policy in D.C., in state capital, in county government, and in city government.
Wow.
You said it all right there.
And Roland, one of the things that I'm afraid of, Roland, please elaborate on this a little bit. You got a lot of election deniers running for Secretary of State, and they getting to a point now where if they don't like the results, they setting up systems that they can change it. And I'm telling you, if Donald Trump runs and wins, he'll be the president for the next 15 years because I believe, and tell me what you think, Roland, we will be in an authoritative state. What do you think?
Well, first of all, we already got a precursor to what that fool did before. Okay, we got a preview of that. And what they're doing is Axios did a story about 3 months ago where they have been meeting and talking about extensive meetings, going over where they failed and made mistakes in those 4 years, and how they plan on changing everything if he wins in 2024. Oh, they got a long game plan. It's being funded very well, and none of it bodes well for black folks. And so I need folks to understand what they did is after 2020, they said, Steve Bannon, they said, we are going to take over the election apparatus. And so the Republicans began to change the laws to allow them to replace boards of elections. You saw it in Georgia where they were ticked off because black folks voted there. Do folks understand the person running for Secretary of State in Michigan literally said the other day that do not count the vote of black people in Detroit.
Wow. He said that?
This just happened because here's why January 6th happened. Because Donald Trump singled out 4 cities. He kept saying Atlanta, Philadelphia, Milwaukee, Detroit. What they got in common? Black people. Right. So these folks, absolutely. And they changed the law in Georgia, allowing any citizen, let me say it again, any citizen who's not even present to challenge your ballot. Right. What they plan to do, y'all write it down, and you can use the hashtag we tried to tell you. Uncle Roro tried to tell you. Tonight, you are going to see, they've already announced it. They have lawyers in every major city in America. They are going to be challenging thousands of ballots. Hell, the Republicans just lost in court where they tried to challenge and stop the counting of military ballots in Wisconsin. Now, if they go try to stop, and normally they win military ballots, if they're going to try to stop the counting of military ballots, you know what they're going to do in black neighborhoods. I'm telling you, look, Texas, the Republicans in Capitol are sending election monitors to Harris County where Houston is. Do you know why? Because in Harris County, black folks have been voting, and they have been winning races in Harris County, and the Republicans are ticked off when those 18 black women won judicial races in Harris County 4 years ago. They're ticked off at Latina woman is the Harris County judge there, and they have spent almost $2 million trying to get Lena Hidalgo thrown out of office. Why? Because Democrats have a 3-2 majority on the Harris County court. They're ticked off in Dallas County because Democrats, folks need to understand who are listening right now. These people are out for power. They are not playing. They want to control the billions. And so every black person, or every person who's not playing, listen to my voice. You had better understand you do not want to wake up tomorrow morning and see the carnage left because you chose to stay at home.
Absolutely, Roland. Can you come back tomorrow, man, for the next couple of days? We really, if you can come back for the rest of the week, Roland, I would really appreciate it. We would love to have you.
Come on, man.
They call me anytime, and I'm on the air 6 hours tonight on the Black Star Network. We gonna have a blackest coverage. Y'all ain't gotta watch them other people. We got 50 black experts who are gonna be on for 6 hours tonight on the Black Star Network. So get the app, go to my YouTube channel. We ain't playing around, Doc. We ain't letting these people steal what we work too hard for.
All right, Roland, I'm blowing you up all week. We need you on for the rest of the week. Love you, man.
Call me every day, baby. Appreciate it. All
yes,
right,
sir. Y'all, ladies and gentlemen, Roland Martin, more Rickey Smiley Morning Show coming up.
It's the Rickey Smiley Morning Show.